All right. Thanks for joining us. For those of you guys that are watching, my name is Alex Nurkin. I'm the Director of Events at the Ryan Center. With us today is Ben O'Connor, local musician. For those of you guys who are watching for the first time, the Ryan Center, obviously, while we have a pause in programming, we're not able to do events and fill the arena like we'd like to. We're staying busy, reaching out to local artists, local groups, Rhode Islanders, see how people are sort of adjusting to these new times that we're in, and trying to get some inspiration. So joining us today, like I said, Ben O'Connor. For those of you guys who are not familiar with Ben, he's played music all over the place, all over the world. Right now is in Newport, Rhode Island. And we were just talking offline about how we've been in the same social circles almost, frequent all the same places, but have never actually overlapped with each other. But thank you, Ben, for joining us today. It's an honor to have you on here. I was talking to our general manager a few days ago, and it's funny, I think when you initially came onto our radar was through a mutual friend, Pete Sherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete is an amazing guy, good friend of everyone at the arena, huge supporter of UR Athletics, obviously a big fan of yours. And he came to us and was like, this guy, Ben, you got to check him out. Love his music. And we talk about you all the time. We're always listening to your music around the office and that sort of thing.
Oh, I love that. Appreciate that. Yeah, Pete's been on the ride since the beginning with us. He's owner of Newport Propane, and he was our very first sponsor, really getting on board in the beginning and just believing in our music, our stories, and our whole push. It's more than just music. It's a lot of message, a lot of desire to unite people through this music. So he absolutely loved it. Loved the patriotic aspect that we go after, and yeah, he's been the main reason why we've been able to push out the music that we do. So
That's really cool. He and I met in a funny way. We actually met side by side. We were both getting our heads shaved at the time. We were doing a fundraiser after one of the basketball games for cancer awareness. And he and I are looking at each other, just clippers halfway over, like, how do I look? You look good. How do I look? So let's backtrack a little bit. Back early March, late February, when this wasn't really on a lot of people's radars in America, what was your spring and your summer calendar looking like? I mean, I'm assuming you had shows booked, busy summer coming up. What was the deal?
Yeah, we had a lot of things moving, and we were holding off on a lot of things to announce because this was going to be our biggest year by far. And I'm hearing that from a lot of close friends, other musicians. Everybody's really finding their groove, and it seemed like this year was going to be a great year for a lot of people. And we had a ton of shows, more shows than we've ever had publicly on larger scale events. My biggest thing is really getting away from the late night club stuff and that 11 p.m. It's a fun crowd, don't get me wrong, but we're more gearing towards original music. So we've been going after more daytime things. We've got a great partnership with the Fort Adams group. So we were talking with them about getting a lot of shows lined up this summer. And so there's a lot of moving parts that have been going into making 2020 happen. And I mean, you guys know with the event industry, it takes a year to prepare. And it's just, I mean, going back to the March, we were down in St. John. We drove, I want to say drive, but we took a plane, but we were down in St. John. Our goal was to be down there until June. And it's our off season. So we're not really doing much during that time. And in that time, we were basically booking, we were setting our year up, and it was such a heartbreaker in a way. And you can't complain about it because everybody's going through the same thing. You just got to adapt. But it's a true bummer because we had a pretty large scale tour at the end of the year kicking off that we had planned, and just a lot of travels, a lot of things that we had getting ready to book. And I'm glad we didn't save a lot of headache for the deposits and money and all that funding that has to take place to get places. But yeah, a lot of shows. I think the most of any of the 5 years that I've been in this full time. Definitely.
So at some point, I'm guessing you guys had to come together and essentially pull the plug on things, start reaching out to people, rescheduling, canceling, whatever it may be, which is a heartbreaker, like you said. I mean, even local Rhode Islanders, when, the big announcement came down about the Folk Fest and Jag Fest, those are things that it hits people inside, they're traditions for a lot of people and that sort of thing.
Yeah. You get so busy in life. Reality of life it's not easy. So it's this business that you and I are in, this entertainment, we give people that release. This is their time to take a break and pause life that's outside. And it sucks for us. It sucks for them. So it's just, we'll get through it. We're adaptive and it's just one of those things where we kind of lean on each other, and everybody that we're good friends with in the industry, we've just been in contact. How you guys doing if you need anything? And
Yeah.
good. I mean, there'll be a lot of good that comes out of it, I think. So
That's the positive message we're trying to put out. Obviously, I mean, we want to reopen as much as everybody else wants to. We want sports back. We would love to be doing concerts again as soon as possible. But, the main message we try to keep out there is we are all in this together. This is affecting everybody globally. But, you started to speak about something which I wanted to ask you about. So how are you guys sort of adapting in these times? So you taking this time to sort of write new songs, record? I know you're doing some virtual stuff, but talk a little bit about that.
yeah, so I've basically we switched from our plan. We had this 3-year plan that we put in place, and each year there was objectives broken down by each month and quarter, basically, and everything was moving up. So as far as January and February were concerned, everything was a year ahead of plan. We were moving. Our sponsors were behind us 100%, and again, back to the live shows, we were right on par with what we needed and ahead. And canceling all that, we basically reverted back to our original plan. So it really isn't bad news. If anything, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because it's forcing us to generate some new content, write new songs, like you mentioned. And
It's almost like a reset, so to
yeah,
speak. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and it's kind of a good time because it's over the years as songwriters, you write down in these little notebooks, your notes in your phone, hook lines, different ideas that you have for songs. And now we're in this time of pausing. You finally get a chance to look back on what was cool that you came up with in the car one day, or so a lot of it's like content creation and kind of just coming up with ideas for music videos and different content. So we kind of paused the live entertainment stuff, even online, the virtual stuff. We did take a pause because mentally I really want to put myself in the right place as far as the creative goes. And right now we're in the middle of putting an EP together for the summer. And then we've also got a kind of a clubhouse, kind of a private thing. So the social media is great. Facebook, Instagram has been awesome. But it only goes so far. And so we're creating our own social base through our website. And that's where we'll launch all of our new music first. So you'll be able to get a couple of free day access to that. Sign up, the membership, it's all free. It's just creating a kind of a family and a community. And this whole quarantine, these ideas have come because of this, and to create a little base of people that can go and log onto the website rather than Facebook, where you're just bombarded by everything.
Yeah,
you can log.
This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, we're going to share all this stuff and get you as much traction as we can. We love sharing these ideas that people have. Another thing you alluded to that we talk about constantly is the silver lining of this thing. Everybody's health obviously comes first and foremost, but it's giving people new ideas. You're having time shared with your family, you're getting creative, you're looking things up online. So it's inspiring to hear you say things like that, where you're taking a turn and sort of getting people involved in a different kind of way. But, all else I'll ask is that if there's any other ways people watching this, ways they can support local artists like yourself, or whether it may be another musician in Rhode Island, an artist, what would your advice be to people that want to be able to help in some way while they're sort of stuck in this trying times?
I think that word support, I think a lot of people revert right to having to spend money and having to put a lot of money out. And we're in a time of so much uncertainty that you don't want to do that right now. So I think that for musicians, for songwriters, for people that are involved in the creative world, they don't even need money. They just need a little bit of love. And I say that in the way that it's constantly outpouring of your soul to put out music. And we're on a virtual live session. We're kind of giving you our soul. We're giving you what's inside. And we don't need a tip. We don't need a dollar, whatever it is. We don't need that. It's more so drop a comment, drop what this song did for you. Just let us know. Give us some words is basically all we really need. So I think that's the best form of support, at least I could receive for my music. So
those are inspiring words, and I think a great message to share with everybody. Well, Ben, like I said, thank you for taking the time to talk with us just for a few minutes today. We're going to share some of your content on social media, our website, that sort of thing. But please stay in touch. Like I said, we're all huge supporters of yours over at URI and the Ryan Center. So take care of yourself. Hopefully we get through this thing, and that big tour that you had on hold is going to take off, once we get through this.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Got it.